we like to think that everybody else is doing it better than us. And we must be not measuring up. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, not just that first year of motherhood, but throughout all the years of motherhood. And I like to call this my ministry of mediocrity. And a funny story, I was speaking at the Hearts at Home conference, and I had a little test on the women there. There's about 900 women in the audience, and I said, everybody turn to the person to your left and lift up their pant leg about 4 inches, and then take your hand and rub it, you know, on their leg.
Should we do that now?
Not shaving your legs has everybody thinking, oh, I didn't shave today. But you know what? It's a ministry, because everyone else will say, oh, me too. I'm not as perfect as everybody thinks. And if you did shave your legs, then you could say, well, I'm better than her. So either way, it's a ministry. So I want women to just relax and know that nobody's getting it right all the time, and we all need to just be more of ourselves.
One of the most encouraging moments in my early motherhood at a women's conference, I think I was actually speaking at, I can't even imagine how I pulled that off, but I was sitting beside a very demure, gentle-spirited, lovely woman, and she asked me the ages of my children. I told her they were probably, you know, 1.5 and 3. And she looked at me with just understanding, loving eyes, and she said, oh, it's all a blur at that stage. I felt so validated. I thought, okay, it's all right, I'm normal. And, you know, we do need that connection with other moms.
Yes.
Just to know, I mean, there's so little adult conversation. There is the guilt trip daily, and we just need to know we're in this together. It really is normal. It's really going to be
And we
okay.
let go of that friendship. I think women, especially when we have babies around, and you go through the first year of motherhood every time you have a baby, and we let go of that friendship. And God created women differently than men. That's a shocker for some. But women, when they stress out, they actually reduce their stress level by connecting with other women. It's called tend and befriend. And so as we connect with other women, as we befriend other women, it produces more oxytocin in our bodies, and it reduces stress. And it's the same with tending to our children. So that's something we need.
One of the fascinating things I found, and again, talking to a lot of my friends, one of the big issues, and I loved how you spent a great part of that in your book, was that the relationship with your husband changes. And a lot of my friends have had, and in all honesty, some serious issues with their husbands because baby came first, husband came second. So whether it was your sex life, your house, the way you presented yourself, huge marital issues. And I think one of the things I'd love to hear from you is like, how do you, like, because I'm thinking, you know, for me, just being married, it's a lot of effort. You're working, you're communicating, but add another baby in, and I'm like, wow. You know, honestly, I'm like, wow, right? How do you really do that? Because that's one of the biggest stresses and issues that I hear a lot with my friends.
Because biblically, the husband comes first.
Well, yeah, well, this is
he does.
And we've been talking about the stress of the woman, but the man's in there too. This is all new for him
And a lot of women feel like their husbands aren't helping out enough. And so then there's even another layer of resentment that might come up there. They're sleep deprived, they're resentful. And
2 issues on the relationship with your husband. We have to make that a priority, and it's really difficult, especially the first few months when you're thinking, all I want is sleep. You know, don't touch me, don't come near me, don't even look at me sideways. I want to sleep. But you have to remember at one point when you're healed up from the delivery and things are good again, you have to reconnect. Your husband sees your love that way in your marriage, and they need that assurance, and they need that connection with you. Marriage counselors say you should kiss your husband a minimum of 20 seconds a day. That's the minimum. Now that sounds like that would go by, but if you count it out, 20 seconds, it could lead somewhere. That's a long kiss.
I know, Moira's going, come on. I thought you were going to kiss your arm and see.
That's movie material. Okay.
But that time doesn't have to be all at once. You can break it up 4 or 5 second
2
kisses.
seconds, Moira.
10 2-second kisses. Break it up as you want. But you need to reconnect with your husband. You need to communicate, but you also need that physical connection. Don't put him on the back burner, because when that child grows up, he may not be there. You need to reconnect with that husband.
And I think it's important that we as mothers realize that our husbands love that baby just as much as we do. They're not with the baby as much as we are, but they have so much love and devotion and protection over that child. We need to remember that. I remember, Moira, you and I, we're going way back from when our firstborns were newborns.
Blowing up the earth.
Not that far back, not that far back. But Andrea, my firstborn, I brought a picture to share with you. Now this is brave of me because this is in the hospital, no makeup on. I had just given birth to Andrea, and and
you've got a dark hair.
Look, I know. I'm thinking, okay, what have I gotten myself into? No, I was 22 when I had her, and Andrea actually will have a birthday in 3 weeks, and she'll be 22. So I know I've doubled her birth now. But I remember thinking, looking at her, and one of the first things that just dawned on me, like a light bulb went off in my brain, was she needs me so much. It had never occurred. I mean, Ron, we got married young. We were 20 and 21 when we got married. And Ron, you know, needed me, but he didn't need me. The house needed me, but it didn't need me. But Andrea, this human being, needed me for her very life. And it was like an amazing epiphany to this young mother that, wow, I am so needed. I am the most important person in her life. And that epiphany can be so overwhelming to many people.
And moms tend to cut dad out sometimes because we feel as the mom, we're the go-to person. We're the one responsible, especially if you're breastfeeding, you're getting up at night. You kind of have that connection with the baby a little more than your husband might. But we need to let our husbands be the dad God created him to be. I can be a little bit of a perfectionist, and I know when my husband would change our baby's diapers, all 4 of them, I got better at it, but I would be like Simon on American Idol, and I would critique his diaper changing, you know, and it was never good because he never did it the right way. And then he would get frustrated, so he would stop helping. And moms tend to do that. They critique their husbands, the way they care for the baby, dress the baby, change the diaper, feed the baby. And we have to know as moms, we are going to do it differently. Our husbands need to find their own path. And we need to let them figure out how to change the diaper. If it leaks, it leaks. The world won't stop revolving because they didn't get the elastic out.
There was a part in your book about the, you know, the importance of a dad in an infant's life, not just later on. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. You know, mom is there in the beginning and it's all mom. And then as the child gets older, then dad kind of finds his place. But that it's really important from the beginning for the father to be there. And we have a friend who's actually, he's doing paternity leave right now. And doing an amazing job. And it's been so good to see him so actively involved in his infants' lives. And knowing that that's going to make an eternal difference.
And he changes diapers really well.
You need to mention that he's the father
of triplets. This is a man who is taking care of triplets as we speak.
Babies right now.
And just, you know, and it's actually been so encouraging for me to see that a man can do this. That
absolutely.
He might do it differently.
But that's okay.
But it's good, and that what he has to give is just as important as what a mom has to give.
And men are very bottom line oriented. I talk a little bit in the book about how men are created differently and the factors of how men are, and they're very bottom line oriented. If you say to your husband, I need your help, he's not going to know what to do. But if you say, after dinner tonight, could you take the baby for 20 minutes so I can walk around the block, or so I can go over to my friend's house and have a cup of coffee? You need to be very specific. Could you get up early and give the baby the morning bottle? So you just need to be very specific with your requests. I think husbands want to help, but they don't know where to begin, and they don't know what's going to help you. So we need to be more specific.
Right.
And we